Hi everyone, and welcome to the Emotional Eating one-on-one webinar. And you may wonder why it's day for me, even though the webinar was a night, and it's because I'm re-recording it, because for some reason the technology didn't really work, and it actually the whole webinar. I promised you that you can actually get the replay. I'm re-recording it, and I'll be sending it out to you. So this replay will be available 24 hours. So once you get an email, make sure you watch it, because it'll be going down very soon. And then I put it as an extra bonus in my Eat to Nurture program. So it's only available for the students in the Eat to Nurture course. Okay. So I know we had some techie issues yesterday, and some folks could log in, some folks couldn't. No idea what was happening there. I'm still kind of talking to the support people, but anyway, you get the replay, and I hope it's still really helpful in use. Okay, so what we were doing was in the middle of my own food stream. Emotional eating was the number one thing that led me to binge eating. Okay, so I was eating on my emotions, no matter if I was stressed or overwhelmed or if I felt happy. Food was like my thing to go to. It was a way to comfort me. It took the edge off. It helped me to feel more at ease and calm. But on the flip side, it also increased I was feeling about myself, and it was really like my stumbling point, or my barrier to overcome my binge, to live the life that I want to live, and to be able to eat what I want to eat, and to be free from that food obsession. And from my work with my private work with women, and also from my group, I keep hearing over and over again that emotions is like the number one thing that drives people to food. Or put it in a different way, that people, or especially we women, tend to eat on our emotions. Okay, so in this webinar, if this is you, you're totally in the right place, and you get lots of really practical and helpful tips to actually help you take a different spin on your emotional eating, and learn some strategies to overcome that by doing something different. So I really hope this is helpful and useful to you. And if you notice me getting out of breath, it that up no, why they're there. Okay, so let's dive right in. I'm going to share the screen with you so you can actually see the presentation, and just need to, there you go. Okay, later again, and so I'm going to say bye-bye for now, and here we go. There you go. One of the hiccups. Okay, so in this webinar, strategies that you can implement straight away, and I will actually you how you can deal with your emotions in a healthy and non-foodie way. Now, I think like a couple of weeks ago, I actually gave a webinar on how to deal with your emotions without turning to food. So some of the folks who've been on it, you might think, oh my God, I'm going to get you told you're going to share strategies. These are yogic techniques that we use your feelings so that you can actually move through them without going to food. Okay, so you will learn something new and different today. But before I dive right in, kind of weirdo who's talking about something that doesn't know about. So I'm Anna Sperling. I'm a addiction psychologist and a food freedom coach. And I've struggled with food about many years, but it really started to kick off when I was 19, and I moved from Germany to England, where I started doing like a voluntary service working for a lady who had MS. And as a 19-year-old girl, that was really hard because I had to do a lot of personal care and I had to really like go onto my limits. And being in a different country, I felt very separate and very isolated and lonely. And it's like, it's like kind of moving moving away from home. And that really brought out the feelings that I already carried inside of myself, the feeling of loneliness, feeling separate, not feeling good enough, not being lovable. So these were like the main feelings I had inside of that I carried around with me. Obviously, nobody knew, and I wasn't really sharing that. But deep down, I kind of felt separate, and I didn't really feel like I belonged, and I just felt very lonely. And being in a different country under really, tough circumstances, that really came out, that sense of loneliness and disconnection and being separate. So I figured I need to find something to, to distract myself and to something to do to take, so that I don't think about or that I don't feel that pain. So I started going to the gym, and I got really into exercising. I've always been like sports, like hours and hours in the gym every day. I would stop eating or just eat very little. So I started to really, put all my effort into controlling my food and into controlling my body, because it just gave me something to do, and it became obsessive and it became an addictive behavior. Okay, so I started to become anorexic, and then I moved into binge eating or into bulimia. So even though I wouldn't actually put a finger down my throat and make myself sick, I'd kind of over-exercise in order to keep my weight low. So, and then I ended up with binge eating. So I kind of went through the whole spectrum and moved a little bit backwards and forwards. But it doesn't really matter what kind of behavior you use or I've used. The point is that food became a much bigger role in my life than it kind of should be. And everything I did, no matter how great my life was on the outside, and it was amazing, it was really good, that food struggle really helped me prisoner and helped me back from experiencing the full beauty of what was going on in my life. And then I moved, and I had great boyfriends, had great partner, and had lovely friends. And like I said, my life was happy on the outside. I was successful. I was doing really well academically. I started to study psychology, my master's in addiction psychology. And all the time I had that dirty little secret. And I call it a dirty little secret because it really felt like that. I was, like I said, everything was fine, and I was kind of, healthy, slim, probably, good looking. But that thing around food just really held me back. And no matter how much love and beauty people showed to me, I couldn't let it in, because I thought, how can someone love you if you can't even eat like a freaking normal person? There must be something wrong with you. It must mean you're some kind of freak or failure or some kind of idiot, that you can't even eat a piece of cake without going totally crazy or obsessing over what it does to your weight and to your body, and ending up binging, ending up like having 10 cakes rather than just the one. And I went through all the crazy food behaviors that you can imagine. Like I scolded my mouth so many times because I was eating food right out of the fryer. I was eating frozen food, molded food. Put food in the bin and got it back out, all that kind of stuff, right? And really what was underneath all that was that, I was feeling very lonely, and I tried to anesthetize my pain with food and dealing with difficult things in my life with food. Like my brother died when I was 23 on a heroin overdose. So that pain, I went to food, to comfort me and all I really wanted was a hug and to feel some kind of connection, especially to myself. Like all I wanted was to feel at peace, to just kind of go like, oh, it's okay, And I would look at other women, especially other slim women, seeing them eating a muffin, and I just think, well, how the hell do they do that? Like how do they not go crazy over it? And I did a lot of therapy, and obviously, I was studying addiction, so I kind of, knew all about addictions and what you can do. And I was working in treatment centers, and I could, really, really, help people getting off them, but I just couldn't apply it to myself. And the reason for it is because, we cannot be our own counselor or therapist. We have to be in connection with other human beings or with another human beings in order to heal. And once I learned, and once I kind of clicked onto the fact that it's not about the food, that the food is not the problem, which I thought it was, I kind of tried the whole abstinence and not eating this and not eating that and really controlling and being on food plans and all that kind of stuff, which actually increased my obsession. But once I kind of learned that it's not about the food and it's not about the behavior, but the way I was relating to myself and the relationship that I had with myself, my whole food strategy. So instead of avoiding certain foods or trigger foods or whatever you want to call them, and making your behavior the big thing, it's all about how you think, feel, and act towards yourself. Okay, so if you're in a loving relationship with yourself, you want to treat yourself lovingly. If you've got those underlying beliefs that you're not worth and that you're not good enough and all that, it will all come out in that relationship with food, which is why I'm so big on and this is what I teach. I don't want to eat anyway, but how to create it with your body and with yourself. So anyway, me today, this is me like a couple of years ago, and I talk about food freedom a lot, and I believe that everyone has to define their own personal food freedom. So there is, we live in a society where we're being told what to eat, what not to eat, what are the right foods and wrong foods, and how to have a healthy lifestyle, and what is a healthy lifestyle. And we are being less confused. Like I get emails and I get questions over and over again, like how to eat, because people are confused about what to eat and what not to eat. And I believe that food freedom is all about finding out what feels right for you, how to learn food to eat in a way that leaves you feeling nurtured and energized and peaceful with yourself, with your body, and with your mind. Okay, and food freedom for me is all about connecting and enjoying and embracing and being loving and nurturing for myself, to myself. And here's a little one with my little boy a few years ago. I think, a year and a half ago now. And if I would struggle, I am today. I would not be the mom who doesn't care what the playground going crazy, who's able to teach my children what it means or how you can look after your emotions in a healthy way. I wouldn't have the patience. I'd probably be going up, looking in the mirror, talking negative about having my children pick up on that. Okay, so I would pass on a legacy of, kind of screwed attitudes and beliefs around food and eating and body image and what makes a woman attractive, or what kind of makes a woman valuable. So for all your mummies out there, this is big stuff. So it's not just for you to change your behaviors, but actually you're cutting through a legacy of beliefs and if you're struggling to do that for yourself, you may want to think about the ripple effects that you're creating by doing that. Okay, so this is all about me. Let's move into it. So how to overcome emotional eating. And before we can actually get there, we have to know what actually emotional eating is and how it shows itself. Okay, so emotional eating really is you're eating in order to fulfill an emotional need rather than satisfying physical hunger. And this may sound really obvious, but trust me, it is not. Sometimes we get so confused by it is internal desire. We think we need to have food, whereas actually something else is going on. It is a way of dealing with your feelings and emotions that somehow you just don't know how to manage in a different way. And this is not necessarily a conscious process. Okay, so at some stage in your life, you will have made the experience that if you eat or if you eat certain foods, you know, you will feel better, or it will kind of help you relieve stress, or it will make the pain go away, or whatever. Okay, or it will make you feel attractive if you don't eat. It may, especially with anorexia, it's a lot about control. You know, it will help you to have control in areas that on your life that is, you know, totally going crazy. Okay, and I am, you know, I believe that me, right? So, you know, you take your own spin on it. That actually binge eating or turning to food started off as an act of love. What I mean by that is that it started off as a way for you to soothe yourself, you know, to do something good for yourself. Okay, so you use it to actually away. But by doing it more and more and more and becoming dependent on the substance food to, you know, do the trick for you internally, it actually then turns into a cry for love. So when I was at my, you know, my height, it was a way to how can I put it? You know, it turned into a desperate behavior. You know, it turned into a way of actually, you know, was a shout out for help. You know, there was something going on inside of me, and I'm using food, and I'm kind of, you know, hurting myself here and sabotaging myself here. And, you know, I was crying out for actually love and connection. Difference between, and sometimes, like I said at the beginning, it's not emotional and physical hunger. And this is like a lovely little table. Like, you know, when you're not clear, is it actually physical hunger that I'm feeling right now? Or is there something else going on? This is how you can determine that. So emotional hunger is really, really quick. So, you know, you might be in a situation or something happens or whatever, and suddenly you feel the urge to eat, okay? It feels like it can't be satisfied. So it needs to, it needs to have that instant satisfaction, but it just doesn't feel enough. It feels like, you know, you want to have more and more of it, and that internal hole or that internal kind of satisfaction after you've eaten like a decent meal, you know, and you feel full and comfortable, that just doesn't seem to happen. And in fact, afterwards, you experience feelings of guilt and shame and powerlessness and helplessness and, you know, pretty much self-disgust as well. Okay. So what triggers your emotional eating? And this is the key. This is actually the key for overcoming emotional eating. You need to be what is going on for you. You know, you need to be aware what your starting point is. They shift and do something different. And this is a very, very important talk about to really uncover where we are. And in my Eat to Nurture program, I have a whole module on goal setting and on exploring where your start is, where your A is before you can move to B. So getting clear on your triggers. And I want to, you know, excuse me, ask you if you already know emotional triggers that set you off. So are there certain feelings? Are there certain situations? You know, what is the thing that sets you off to turn to food? You know, and if you've got pen and paper, write them down, or you know, you can just think about it. But you know, it is really, really important that you start becoming aware of what it is. Okay, so ending some reflection. And here's what studies found. So the number one feeling that people eat on is stress. And, you know, stress can be in all sorts of ways. I mean, all sorts of things that can be stressful or how we experience stress. And what happens is that, you know, when we feel stressed, raise, rage, salty, sweet, and fatty foods. And in my last webinar, I had a whole, you know, there's like some stuff on the internet around what actually your craving means. So if you crave sweet things, it can imbalance of your nutrition or mineral household. Okay, but if you're feeling stressed, you know, number one thing is that what you want to do is eat. There we go. Specific feelings. So stress is more like a physical state. Okay, but specific feelings like overwhelm, loneliness, feeling of internal emptiness, resentment, guilt. These are all what we found to be big triggers for people to eat on, or even big emotions for people to eat on. Loneliness was like my number one thing. So again, get curious of which emotions are your main ones, you know, and you may just want to pick 3 or 4 if it gets too overwhelming, that you turn to food. Childhood habits, such a big one, you know, like I said, what I said at the beginning about the beliefs and attitudes around food that we grew up with. So, you know, you may have grown up in an environment where food was used as an expression of love, right? Where food was a treat, where going to McDonald's was actually a treat if you've done something good, so you get rewarded with food, okay? Where not having dinner was a punishment, where you had to finish all your food, where, you know, you were not allowed to eat certain foods because they were considered as unhealthy. So those childhood habits and attitudes that we learn as we grow up, they hugely inform your imprint. And if you, you know, like many people do, if you're not going a little deeper and actually, you know, looking at your attitudes around food and how come you have them, it's very hard to change them because they're so imprinted in us that we're often not even aware of how, you know, that we're doing them or that we're following them. Okay, so get curious around how you grew up around food. Okay, you know, you may come from a family. If you think about that 70s, are kind of born into a whole dysfunctional system around food, okay, which absolutely counts for that you may struggle with it, but it's not an excuse for you to actually continue with it. So you've got a chance to do something different and to cut through that legacy and create new healthy behaviors and you know, attitudes around food, so you can pass on something different to your children or to, you know, the people around you. Social influences, like going out for a meal. And I remember when I was in a trusted program where, excuse me, where it was all about being abstinent from certain foods. And you know, I'd go out for a friend. Oh, thank you. It was like I didn't have one, or you know, people like to eat in company, and they like to probably eat you know, what they consider as naughty things in company so that they don't feel so bad about it. And I remember I felt, you know, I'd rather have a piece of cake when everybody is around me is having one too, rather than just having one alone, because it made me feel awkward and like I was doing something wrong. So, you know, we kind of want to get people and you know, do the naughty thing, and I'm doing naughty in inverted commas, together. So, you know, the key here really is, and the tool for you to take away is to become a trigger spotter. Start an emotional eating diary, or like start a diary anyway, and just get curious of how you eat, you know, when you turn to food, what's the situation, how you're feeling, what are the thoughts that you're having. And this is like a technique we use in CBT, where you, like in a cognitive behavioral therapy, where you write down the situation, your feeling, and then, you know, what you do with it. So it's all about for you to get to know yourself better, right? To explore yourself. You, like I always say to my clients, you know, you kind of put a student hat on and you become a student of yourself. So you're doing a degree or a PhD in Anna or in Julie or, you know, whatever. So, you know, get to know yourself and become aware of, how you rock around food. Okay. So what are the costs of your emotional eating? Now, in order to really in order to change, right, you need to know why you want to do it. And you actually need to face the real cost of this, right? We are so focused on feeling well and getting better and being in the solution that we don't account, or that we don't want to spend time and energy and actually experience what it's like to be in the present. So I want you to write down in your journal, in your emotional eating, what are the actual costs of your emotional eating? Okay, so be really, really honest. You need to start being honest with yourself. You need to start facing yourself, okay, and not from a place of judgment, but from a place of curiosity. Yeah. So what's the impact on your money, right? Financial impact. What's the impact on your physical health? Right? What's the impact on your emotional, spiritual well-being, on your relationships? For me, like, getting naked in front of my boyfriend was, let's say more than a challenge, right? So if you're not feeling happy and comfortable in your body, how is it affecting your love life? How is it affecting your sex life? How is it affecting the relationship you have with yourself? How is it affecting you being the mom that you want to be, right? Are you running around like a lunatic on the playground, chasing and playing with your children? Or are you too serious, about the value and the worth of a woman, right? What are the impact on your business, on your working life? Like, I knew when I was in the middle of my food and emotional eating, my productivity was crap, right? I remember I was working in a teaching hospital as a psychologist when I came back to Berlin, and I was so in my binging because I felt so frightened of what I was doing. I didn't get done anything because I was just going to the shop, I was just eating, I was just occupied with food. So, I was doing a crap job. I was hiding my passion. I was hiding behind food, right? So, really think about how this whole binging and emotional eating is holding you back from living the life you are meant to live, right? From the purpose that you're meant to put into the world. Steps to take. I just kind of bring them all up so we can go through them. Number one is actually to determine if it's physical or emotional hunger. Oops. Let's go back here. And often, 70% of, again, our population are under, what's the word? Are thirsty or not drinking enough. I can't think of the word. Anyway, I hope you know what you mean. So sometimes when you feel hungry, actually thirsty. Okay. So see if a glass of water or 2 glasses of water are actually doing the trick. Then what I do is I do a feelings check, and this is how I do it. And I'll show you, when I come back on camera again. Put one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly, and I close my eyes and I take a couple of deep breaths, and I really connect to how I'm feeling. Right? I ask myself, so how am I feeling? Excuse me. How am I feeling right now? Where in my body sits that feeling? What might it look like? What shape has it got? What sound would it make when it come out? I rate my feelings. So on a scale of like 1 to 10, how strong and intense is that feeling? And something that I didn't know was that you could actually have different feelings going on at the same time. Like, I always thought I could either feel happy or unhappy, either sad or joyful, right? But you can have many feelings. You can be anxious and excited. You can be worried and happy. So start getting curious and explore your feelings. And this is a practice. Okay, so that doesn't happen overnight. And many of us don't grow up learning about feelings, or don't even know what feelings are, and having can't label them. And you don't have to put a name to that feeling. You can just experience the state and just notice, okay, so here's like that feels uncomfortable, or there's like a tingly feeling in my body, or whatever. You don't have to find a word for it if if that's tough for you. then I ask myself, so once I kind of figured out how I'm feeling, what do I really need? You know, these are the steps that we just don't take. Okay, we don't check in with ourselves asking what do we need right now, because we automatically jump to the thing that we think is working and is doing the trick for us, right? The external thing that is, you know, taking the edge off and making us feel better instantly. Ask yourself, what are you truly hungry for? Okay, and how can you meet your needs, like your emotional need, if it's not physical hunger, in a loving and healthy way, or in the most loving and nurturing way? Okay, and to be honest with you, sometimes it is for me, I'm going to have some chocolate, and that is okay too, right? It doesn't mean that I have to go on binging. It doesn't mean that I'm broken, you know, that I'm a failure, that I've broken all my diet rules or whatever. Sometimes it is simply the thing that I just need, and that's okay, right? I really want you to know that you have permission to eat whatever you want to eat. You know, whatever you feel you need after you've checked in with yourself, what that need actually is, right? Give yourself permission, take yourself off the hook, okay? So learn how to lean into your feelings and embracing them rather than trying to get rid of them straight away. Okay, we kind of grow up believing or learning that there are good and bad feelings, right? That some feelings are okay and some feelings have to, you know, we have to get rid of them. And the whole of me, how to be more successful, how to, you know, live that vibrant, joyful life. The shit. Okay, we don't want to get rid of the shit. We don't want to get rid of the pain. You know, we want to learn how to embrace it and include it in our life. So, you know, so that we can, you know, have better skills and be able to actually move through that and to come out the other side. We cannot feel the joy without the difficulty, right? We cannot have one or the other. Feelings are neither good or bad. They are just freaking, like, emotions are just energies and motions, and we are the ones who are judging them and making it really hard for ourselves. And yes, some are more easier to kind of experience than others, but it's because we don't practice experiencing the others, you know, because we just want to, you know, have the nice stuff. But they're not selective, you know, we can't have feeling, you know, we can't shut out the bad feelings without shutting off the good ones too, okay? So it's not either or nothing, it's either we are feeling all of them or none of them, okay? I hope this kind of makes sense to you. Another strategy that I use and that I found really helpful is to actually push the pause button. So emotional eating and binge eating is a very compulsive behavior. So it happens very quick. It's a shortcut, and there's no space between feeling triggered or feeling to actually eating. We have that and giving into it. It just becomes automatic, and it feels like, you know, you're being a robot and something else is controlling you. So by pressing the pause button, you actually create an opportunity to make different choices. Okay, so you're not guided by that instant urge that needs gratification and satisfaction. You actually are able to step into your own power and think about and reflect what's really going on and what is it that you need in order to make a different choice. And, you know, hitting that pause button can look in a million different ways. So you can go or, you know, be on the phone with someone, making myself a cup of tea, that internet want to eat. And game, like I I'm and the craving. I got to the point where those cravings anymore. I want to be able to control them. Okay, so I want to stay boss of what I eat, how much I eat, and when I eat. Okay, so press the pause button. And why is it so hard to actually quit emotional eating? Well, one of the things is that it is such a quick and easy shortcut to feel better. No matter, and we all know that this doesn't last long and that actually, you know, we're paying for it big time, but it's an instant, quick pain release. It's an instant gratification that just takes off the edge and makes us feel better. And we are wired to seek out the goodness over the badness, right? We are wired to seek out gain over pain and to opt in for the easy options, or to go for the easy options. And we don't learn to actually deal with emotions, and especially with difficult emotions, in a healthy way. And if you kind of reflect on your own upbringing, how emotions are being handled in your own family system, whether was it okay for a boy to cry? What did mommy and dad do when they were, when they were sad or frustrated or angry? How did they express their feelings? How did they hide their feelings? What were they teaching you about, how to take care of their emotions? And like I said, we seek the pain in order to feel good. And our brains are wired to resist change. And I think, have I got that on there? I can't even remember. No. So we are wired to resist change. So, we are a creature of habit. So once we start wanting to do something different, and especially changing something that is so deeply ingrained of us, something that we've done for years, we kind of find that hard work, and our brain goes into like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is too hard work. Where's the point? I just, want to feel good. Okay. So, this is making it a little bit more difficult. And we live in a society where we are being bombarded with external quick fixes, right? Where external things are being promoted as a way of making our head that we apparently all are looking for, or seeking. Okay, be it money, be it that beautiful car, be it having a slim, healthy, athletic body, wearing certain clothes, eating certain eating certain foods, smoking, drinking, whatever. Okay. So this is what's making it really hard to change. And also, we live in a culture where food is becoming a way of rather than actually access to emotional eating. So, once you kind of learn to become more aware of your triggers and checking in with what you actually need, you can come up with alternative strategies to actually fulfill that need, okay? So, for example, if you're feeling stressed or lonely, if this is like your trigger, connect. And for me, that was like one of the hardest things to do, but connection is so important. So ring someone that you trust, ring someone that you can rely on, that is there for you, that won't judge you or tell you what to do, and just share where you are, and not just share that you're kind of having a hard time, or don't do that, and just kind of connect from. If you're feeling anxious, okay, anger, like moves through anger, is to actually be such a strong emotion that needs to be expressed in a healthy and safe way. Not by shouting at people or throwing things around, but by finding a physical outlet. So you may want to go for a run. You may just want to get a pillow and punch the heck out of your settee. To the gym, really it is. You need to let that out. You need to let those feelings move through you. Okay, and if you're in a place it's just not appropriate to do right now, imagine you're putting that feeling in like a jar and you put it on a shelf, and make sure you go back to get the jar back down, open it up and express it and move through that. Okay, don't just stack them all up on there, because they will be coming crashing down on you. If you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, well, take a break, take a rest. And I know, like, from being a mom, that sometimes there are just moments where I think, oh my God, that little boy just drives me absolutely insane. And, I'm so close to shouting and exploding. And what I would do instead of imploding, which could be like, as harmful as, I take myself to the toilet and I just say, mommy just needs to go for a wee. And I just sit there and I just breathe and I count to 10 and I calm myself down and just remember what's really important and what's going on. And, that it's actually usually not such a big deal. but I need that little moment of takeout time, in order to get back to a state of love and peace. So give that to yourself, okay? When you notice you're literally gonna explode or implode, take a break, take a moment away from the situation. And there are lots of strategies around helping you to relax. It's yoga and meditation and all sorts of stuff that you can do. If tired is a huge trigger for emotional eating. Because of the belief that I just need that quick energy fix to get me through the day. So obviously increase your quality. Sleep. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sleep. The quality of it. Self-care, have a cup of tea, rest, there's no template of what a healthy lifestyle looks like, because everybody's different, everybody's circumstances are different. If you're a mom of four, lifestyle will be very different, or a business, you're retired or whatever. Okay. There are elements of it like sleep and connect spirit, what creates a healthy lifestyle for you, what makes you feel in alignment with your body, your mind, your spirit. So here's 3 tools for dealing with health. And these 3 practice from the yoga, and they are really simple things that you can do. Okay, so number 1 is alternate nostril breathing, and I will show you. Come on back on camera. In a minute, and I will show you exactly how to do it. One is it where you breath or make your the numbers are wrong anyway. Is Kapalabhati, and then soothing, rebalancing the brain, connecting more to yourself. If you're triggered, you kind of want to create some ease and some peace. Okay. So these are perfect for that. And the last one is a great practice for when you feel tired and exhausted and, just done with the day, and it increases your energy, boosts your energy levels, like and focus. And it's a great way to kind of get you kick started. Also perfect to do in the morning. Okay, so let me come on live again. So let me just close it down. There we go. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the 3 breathing techniques. So number 1 is the alternate nostril breathing. And what you do, you put your index finger and your middle finger together. Your thumb goes on the right-hand side of your nose, your ring finger on the left-hand side of your nose, and you pull out. So you breathe in, and what you do, you close your right nostril. You can see it like this, close it. And after you breathe in, you exhale through your left nostril and keeping the finger off. Breathe in, and you want to make sure you blow your nose before. Okay, so you can probably blow. So you keep your thumb on your right nostril, and you breathe in on your left side. Hold your breath. Exhale on the other side. Can you see? So hold your breath when it's empty again. Breathe in on the count of 3. Hold your breath, closing both nostrils. Exhale on the left side. Hold your breath 3 or 4. Do it. Hold your breath, counting again to 3 or 4. Exhale on the thumb side. Hold the emptiness. Counting to 3 or 4. Hold the fullness. Exhale on the other side. Okay, and then that 3 rounds. So, you know, depending on how stressed you are or how kind of crazy you feel, you want to do at least like 6 to 12 rounds, okay? And take your time, really slow breathing, deep breathing, like yogi breathing, deep, and, you know, through your nose. And, yeah, let yourself calm down, okay? Second, so you're inhaling through your nose, count 4 or how long you can do that, and then you twice as long as you inhaled. Inhale on 3 counts, you exhale on 6. Okay? If you inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 8 counts. Okay? And again, this is for calming and soothing. And if you want to have a little bit more energized, you're focusing more on the inhale, so you're making the inhale longer than the exhale. Okay? So exhale is all about going deep and calming down and focusing the inhale quicker. It's you know, all about last is so well. I'm heavily pregnant, but I need to get focused on your belly. Now you get to see what big pregnancy belly. Ooh. Okay. And it's Kapalabhati, so it's also called like the shining skull, because you're actually raising your kundalini or your energy from right on the bottom, getting all the way through your chakras, right up into your head. Pregnancy hiccups, there they are. Okay, so what you do here is you take again a full breath in, exhaling completely. Breathe in through your nose. And as you exhale, yeah? So little, you're kind of pressing out the air through your nose in like little chunks, okay? And you're pulling in your tummy and your belly button every time you do that. So it's like a your head, it's just me. But I hope, can you see like my belly moving? Like, oh, hold up. Oh. Maybe easier from the side. So you're pushing the energy out by our abdominal. Can't speak anymore. And pushing, pressing the, and you want to do it fast. And you do like 3 rounds of them. The first round you can 20, depending on how long you can actually do that for. Once you're done, I'll say like you count to 100 and you're on your last count and you fully exhale. Inhale deeply. Hold that breath, pull in your navel, and then exhale. Okay, then you do a few normal breathings, and then you do a second round. Okay, in the second round you may only do like 80, right? You count to 80, and then you breathe out again, and then you do your third round where you do only 60 counts. Okay, so these are like 3 brilliant breathing techniques to calm you down and help you to actually feel more balanced and at ease, and to you know, balance out your nervous system. And the last one is to actually help you to feel more energized, so that you don't have to have a bar of chocolate to get a quick energy burst, but you can actually do that. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you and you got some really practical strategies for you to take away. And before you know, go into Q&A time, which obviously on the replay is very difficult because I'm talking to myself here, I just want to tell you a little bit more about the Eat to Nurture program that I've got coming out. Well, it's actually out already and you can sign up for it. And you know, I had a lot of questions about them, and I just want to use that time to actually, you know, share a little bit more about the program with you. So please hang on for a couple more minutes, because this is important. Okay, so the Eat to Nurture Food Love Camp is for women who want to stop struggling around food, you know, who enough of feeling crappy around food, of obsessing with food, their body, their weight, feeling shitty about themselves, and who are ready to make that leap into food freedom, to feel at peace and at ease around food, to learn how to eat in a way that kind of feels right for them, and to reconnect to themselves and to actually know how to eat and what not to eat, no matter what all the kind of diet industry tells them. It's for women who are, who are ready to, to stop feeling guilty around food, to take the plunge of, feeling okay with who they are and within themselves. Okay, we want to get off the binge dieting cycle. It's 8 weeks, and let me just see. Here you go. And it's an 8-week program, and you will, it's divided in 7 different modules, which are here. And it's a self-study course, and the reason why it's a self-study course, it's because I found that we are so busy, and we've got so many responsibilities. We're juggling so many balls, in our lives, and especially if you're working and you're a working mom, that sometimes just is not time to go 1 hour a week, drive somewhere and see a therapist, right? So this program is for everyone who's got mega busy lives, but still, want to do something different and want to create change, lasting changes. So each week you will, it's all in the membership site, and each week I will release a module with like different videos and lots of handouts and exercises for you to do, and I take you through them in the videos. So you can actually do them in your own time, whenever it fits in with your schedule, okay? We'll be talking, like I said, there's a whole module around goal setting and exploring what your actual struggle is with food and how come you have them. We will dive into the behavior, the beliefs and disempowering beliefs that you have with yourself, and we're learning, or you will be learning and beginning to transform. Very powerful. And this is not like just a teaching program, it's very experiential, meaning, I get you to do actually transformative on an emotional level, not just on a thinking level, okay? So you will actually feel the difference, and you will start making different choices from an inside out point, not just because you have to do something different, but because internally something will shift that you want to do something different. And this is the key of creating lasting change, okay? So you will learn all about how to trust food and yourself again, what the promise of food is, how come you keep holding on to your struggle even though you know different, right? What's your self-sabotaging behavior? How can you prevent that? How to deal with your feelings and your emotions in a healthy and accountable way, how to deal with cravings and triggers. We will redefine your body image. There's a beautiful, beautiful pieces of work around, actually accepting you as you are, no matter what size you are. And there'll be we will have a week of celebration and of you taking action steps and, making a declaration for yourself. So it's a highly interactive, and transformative program, that it's not just where I'm not just teaching you stuff, I get you actually to experience something different and to create which will help you create a relationship or change the relationship that you have with yourself and with food and with your body. I've got amazing guest teachers coming on, and I'm so excited about them because I'm not an expert in nutrition or in fitness or in, other things. So I've got LA top, she's an expert in food allergies, and she was like a top chef to all the celebrities and the whole section on nutrition and food allergies like gluten and dairy, and of all the confusion around what to eat and what not to eat. I've got a fitness guru coming on who giving you exercises like home videos that you can practice in your own time, depending on your fitness level. She'd be answering all your questions around how to get motivated and stay motivated and which exercises feel right or are right for you given your circumstances. I've got a essential oil expert coming in who'll be sharing with you or who'll be teaching you how to use essential oils in order to help you with your hormones and emotions and blood sugars and sleep and all that kind of stuff. So I've got tons and tons and tons of great stuff. And, you know, the biggest thing, or what's making that program most helpful is actually we've got a private Facebook group. Just go back to all the stuff that you will get. A private Facebook group. This is just for the people in the program, and I'll be there all the time. I'll be having 2 weekly office hour sessions where you can answer or where you can ask all your questions. I'll be personally answering them. So you can actually apply this program specifically to you and make it, and I'll be supporting you. So it's like coaching in the middle of the program too. Okay, and yeah, so there's an early bird offer going April the 1st, so you can save, where you can save $300. I'm just coming back. Where you save $300 and you get the chance to win a free therapeutic mastermind session with myself, which is like worth $500. So make sure you, you know, if you're thinking about signing up, that you do before April the 1st in order to grab your free discount or to grab your discount. If you've got any questions about the program or about what I talked about today, make sure you email me at anna@annasperlich.com and come and join my Facebook group, Imprints on the Heart. It's like I don't know, like a golden apple or whatever. It's so full of support, and I post lots of, you know, useful information in there, and it's a great community to get extra support and guidance and motivation and love. So come and join us over at Imprints on the Heart. If you want to know more about my program, go to Eat to Nurture, Eat to, number 2, Nurture Food. Come and see me, speak Anna at annasperlich.com. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you got some really helpful and practical tools for you to take away. Like I said, the replay will be available 24 hours once I send it out. And the, you know, you get the notes and the slides. I'll put them in the email, and I'll put a link to where you can get them. And I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear what you find is working for you, what isn't working for you, what was helpful, not so helpful. Any questions, you know, don't be shy and get in touch. Okay? So have a lovely day, and thank you for listening and watching this, and speak to you soon. Bye.